Whether new shooter, longtime gun owner, or even police officer or soldier, your handgun needs a Crimson Trace laser sight or light. Get the confidence and reliability you need to protect family, home, and country. Crimson Trace.
Broadcasting nationwide, this is Tom Gresham's Gun Talk. Your views, advice, and questions are the driving force of gun talk. Call Tom now at 866-TALK-GUN. That's 1-TOM-TALK-GUN. Or reach out to us via email at tom@guntalk.com. Let us know what you think about the gun-related issues of the day. Now, here's Tom Gresham.
All right, saddle up, third hour of Gun Talk. Got a lot to talk about, and you can join us. All you have to do is give us a holler, 866-TALK-GUN, 866-825-5486. Don't forget, the guys over at Trigicon wanted to let everybody know that they've got, this is the last day to register for this World Shooting Championship. Pretty cool idea. Everybody uses the same guns and ammo and optics, so you come in and use supplied guns, so you just find out who's the best shooter. If you'd like more information on that, just go to peacemakernational.com/WSC for World Shooting Championship. Again, peacemakernational.com. This will be held in West Virginia. It's coming right up. September 10 to 13. So, yeah, it's coming right up if you're in that area. By the way, and if you don't want to compete, you still may want to go see it. So check that out. Our number again, 866-TALK-GUN. It is, as I say, well, it's actually hunting season's open a lot of places already. People have been out hunting antelope, pronghorn, prairie goats, call them what you want. A lot of things going on. A lot of dove season's open tomorrow. And when you think hunting and you think hunters, you pretty quickly come around to talking about my friend Larry Weishuhn, who joins us right now. Hey, Larry, how are you?
How are you doing, Tom? It's good to visit with you, sir.
Good to be with you. Now, you are probably one of the best-known, if not the best-known hunters out there. You've written like a gazillion books. You've been on just about that many TV shows about guns and hunting. Your background is in wildlife management, and you're just kind of the go-to guy on this. And, of course, everybody says, well, you just get to hunt all the time, right?
I wish that were the case, but I do get to hunt a lot. But you know what? I've never gotten to hunt quite as much as I wanted to. So I'm sure I'm like everybody else in that respect.
You probably were one of the people who really, got handgun hunting going for a lot of people. How long have you been hunting with handguns?
Oh, my gosh. I started hunting with a handgun probably when I was about 12 or 13 years old, hunting small game. I had some uncles that were in law enforcement, and they introduced me to handgun hunting very early on. So been at it a long, long time. Interestingly, we just got back from, since you mentioned that, we just got back from Namibia in Africa as a guest to their ministers to help them introduce handgun hunting, hopefully in the future. Looks like probably in the next year or two, we're going to be able to go to Namibia with a handgun. So
no
handgun
kidding.
hunting is increasing not only here in the United States, but also abroad as well. So we're really tickled about that.
What'd you shoot, and what'd you shoot them with?
Well, back we were there just to visit with the ministers to help them set up rules and regulations, so we were not allowed to bring handguns in. But like I said, it looks like within about a year or so, based on what they were telling us, we're going to be able to do that. And so we helped them kind of set up some bottom energy levels and caliber recommendations and those kind of things as well while we were there. But it looks very, very promising. That's
terrific. For those who don't know, that if they're thinking about traditional short ranges, today's hunting handguns are moderate to long range, and you can shoot calibers up to as big, or actually bigger than I want to shoot. I can tell you that.
I think that's the case with me, too. I'll tell you what, there's some 50 caliber handguns out there. And, of course, there's lots of really good revolvers. I did a lot with, years ago, I did a lot with Thompson center arms with the various rifle-type calibers that we had in the Encores and also and begin that with the contenders. And these days I kind of drifted back to shooting more of the traditional type single-action and double-action revolvers with Ruger with 44 mags and 454 Casuls and 480s, and I mean, my gracious, there's a great array out there of handgun opportunities, and we're blessed too. We've had a tremendous whitetail deer population in North America for a long time, and there's some of those central states now in the central U.S. that do allow handgun hunting with straight wall cartridges at special seasons, and sometimes even during the regular shotgun season. So, anybody that's interested in handgun hunting, there's never been a greater opportunity than there is now to enjoy that sport.
Absolutely. Now, you and I both have enough gray hair to where we've been around guns and hunting a long time now.
Yes, sir.
And I was hanging around with actually a mutual friend of ours, Chris Calloy from Ruger a couple of days ago.
Yes, sir.
And of course, Chris has also been around a while though, but he didn't have our gray hair. I don't know how he pulls that off.
We're not going to ask him either.
But one of the things, I was at this gathering with a firearms dealership or a distributor, and a lot of gun stores owners are there. And one of the guys was saying something that was interesting. And I was going to bounce this off of you because where I'm going with this is we've seen a lot of changes in the gun business and what guns we use.
Sir.
And this guy was saying, it's actually difficult right now, this year, 2014, to sell used guns because the new guns are so good and so inexpensive. And he specifically pointed out the Ruger American. He says, how do I sell a used 77 Ruger against a brand new American, which has a better trigger and is stunningly accurate? It costs $300.
That's exactly right. I'm headed to the Kittery Trading Post in Maine tomorrow to help them work their sale on behalf of Ruger. And last year when I was there, they were selling Ruger American rifles, brand new, out of the box, for $299.99. And you're right, it becomes very, very difficult to, if you look at it from an economic perspective and also in terms of really true quality. I mean, as you just mentioned, that Ruger American, it's kind of like a semi-custom rifle that you can get for around $300. And when you look at that compared to some of the really good other guns that are out there, like the Model 77, that I guarantee you're going to end up spending more for it. It becomes a difficult sale sometimes to sell used guns when we have available to us now.
Well, I've been with you over at the FTW Ranch doing the long-range shooting school.
Oh, yes, sir.
So people don't think we're blowing smoke. Just describe with an out-of-the-box, I'm talking about absolutely no work done to it whatsoever. Take the thing out, put a scope on it, sight it in, and start shooting one of these Ruger Americans. What kind of distances were we hitting things with?
Well, we found out to begin with they were extremely accurate at 100 yards, so we just kind of started working farther. And before this was all over with, we were shooting 750, then 800, then 900, and actually we had several people that one day hitting the targets without very much difficulty and very consistently at 1,000 yards.
And this wasn't even with the tactical super-duper scopes. These were just regular hunting scopes. I mean, these were 3 to 9 hunting scopes is all we had.
That's exactly right. It speaks so very highly of what we were using. We had various scopes, and we had Zeiss scopes on a lot of those. We were shooting Hornady ammo, and it speaks very highly not only of the Ruger, but also the optics, but also, again, the ammunition that we have. But that particular Ruger American rifle is just an unbelievable. I'll tell you something. I knew your dad fairly well, and one time I remember him shooting a desert bighorn sheep, and he kind of instilled in me that great desire to someday shoot a desert bighorn. And I saved and saved and saved and saved. And when I finally went on my desert bighorn sheep hunt, you want to guess what rifle I took?
What'd you take?
A 270 Ruger American rifle.
Yeah.
I mean, here's a $300 rifle that I took on an extremely expensive sheep hunt, at least for me, and the rifle performed unbelievably great. So, I mean, Ruger's, of course, I love the fact that they're all made right there in that part of USA up in there. But I'll tell you what, that is an extremely accurate rifle. It's very inexpensive, and I put that thing through paces. I've told people that I've used it for everything from a keel on trying to slide down of
the mountain
rocky,
slide.
nasty slope,
Yep, done it.
Paddle to everything else that you can use it for a rifle for. So they're tough, they're accurate, and my gosh, I just can't say enough about them. I just absolutely love them.
Let me ask you, you mentioned in passing the ammo. I know you do work with Hornady, but really across the board, our ammo right now, out of the box, what you buy to go hunting with, is generations better than what we had 20 years ago, isn't it?
Oh, my gosh. 20 years ago, and even less than that, if you wanted really quality ammunition, you generally ended up hand-loading it, yourself. Finding bullets from whatever company that you like, that your gun liked. And, these days you can go to a good gun store, and there's a lot of stores out there that way that are stocked really well, even with what we've gone through with some of the ammunition shortages. There's a tremendous amount of unbelievable ammunition out there that if you do a little bit of playing around with, you'll find that your rifle absolutely loves. And you're right. that ammunition that we have today, these days, is so far and above what we had 10, 15, 20 years ago, it's unbelievable.
I'm going to put you on the spot. The question you get, probably the most of any question you get asked, is, I want to get one rifle for hunting all big game in North America. What caliber should it be?
You know, if you're looking at all game in North America, I've been playing around a lot with it.
Tell you what, leave out the big bears, all right? Leave those out for now.
If I was going to leave out the big bears, but even if I was going to include them, I'll tell you what, I've been playing around a lot. We have at the FTW as well, Tim Fallon and I, with the 375 Ruger. And with that 375 Ruger, I've shot everything from big dicks to elephants, you know, and most everything that I've used here in North America as well. And to me, we're playing with that rifle now using the 250 grain GMX Hornady, and they're hitting targets very consistently, very accurately at 700-800 yards. So if you got that long range interest, you still got a lot of long range energy at that kind of thing. And to me, that 375 Ruger, I mean, it's become available a lot of different places, and like the Ruger, that guide gun, it's sharp, it's quick handling. But I'm not so sure if I had to pick just one caliber right now that I was going to hunt just North America with. Everything from whitetail deer down to javelina up to moose and even the big bears. I mean, there's no, or even sheep. I mean, there's no doubt in my mind that would be a caliber that I would look at very, very seriously. Because with that too, if you decide you want to go to Africa, there's nothing over there that you can't take with it either, and it's an unbelievable caliber as far as I'm concerned.
All right, Larry, where can people see you on TV, and what kind of books you got out? How do people catch up with you?
Right now, most of my books are out of print. They can find stuff on Amazon. But I have a TV show on Sportsman Channel called Trailing the Hunter's Moon, which is on Saturday mornings primarily, and the other times as well, but Saturday morning at 9:30. Eastern time, called Trailing the Hunter's Moon. And they can also keep up with me. I've got a website of the same, www.trailingthehuntersmoon.com, where I've got a bunch of blogs and stories and photographs and all that kind of stuff. So it kind of tells them where I've been and maybe where I may end up being in the next several days.
There you go. Well, look, keep yourself safe out there, and I hope to see you soon, my friend.
I hope to share a campfire with you, Tom. Thank you so very much.
You take care. Larry Weishuhn. He is truly a hunter's hunter. All right, open lines, 866-TALK-GUN, 866-TALK-GUN.
The new Walther PPX offers a smooth trigger, ambidextrous magazine release, 3 integral safeties, rugged construction, and the famous Walther ergonomic grip. All this at a great price. Right now, get a free magazine, holster, and dual mag pouch when you purchase a PPX. Feel the perfect fit of the Walther PPX at your local gun dealer or go to WaltherArms.com for more information. That's WaltherArms.com.
There's a rise in home invasions in America, and you need to be ready. Ready to protect yourself and your family. The Bedside Backup from Crossbreed Holsters keeps your gun at your bedside, ready to go. It also folds flat for easy storage and travel. Take it with you and use with any hotel bed. To see more, go to crossbreedholsters.com. That's crossbreedholsters.com. The Bedside Backup is not a child safety device.
No matter what gun you have, you want it to hit harder, shoot faster and flatter, and be more accurate. You get all that with the ammunition from Double Tap. Double Tap's experts select the best bullets, then load them to higher velocities while keeping safe pressures. Shoot small groups. Shoot farther. Use custom hunting loads in your handgun or rifle. Even fire 2 projectiles with 1 shot. DoubleTapAmmo.com. That's DoubleTapAmmo.com.
What's that?
It's my Trijicon.
What's a Trijicon?
Only the best rifle scope in the world.
Says who?
How about the U.S. Marine Corps, Special Forces, Navy SEALs? You heard of these guys?
Sure.
Well, they're all using Trijicons.
Let me see it. Wow, this is really sharp.
And a lot of professional hunters are using Trijicon, too. You probably caught it on some TV and radio shows.
Yeah, I have heard some of them swear by their Trijicon.
I swear by it.
You know, I could have been a Navy SEAL.
Well, the closest you're going to get now is buying a Trijicon.
Hey.
Trijicon is the brand of rifle scopes that more and more hunters are swearing by. That's because every Trijicon is handcrafted using the finest optic materials. The bright aiming point can guarantee you a great hunt from dawn to dusk. Get your Trijicon at a dealer near you or visit them on the web at Trijicon.com. That's TRIJICON.com. Trijicon. Brilliant aiming solutions.
You don't need a smartphone to listen to Gun Talk online. Just log on to guntalk.com and click the Listen tab for options that'll let you listen right on your computer. Here again, Tom Gresham as Gun Talk continues.
All right, 866-TALK-GUN. Just got an email from Sanford. He said, let's see, for Ima, who was, no, it wasn't Ima. Who was it? Somebody called in. I'll figure it out here. Just a second. Diane. She was calling from Shreveport, and she was trying to find mags for a 1942 Colt Woodsman. And Sanford says, try Numrich Arms, Numrich, Numrich Arms online. He said he checked, and they have magazines for the Colt Woodsman, about $42. So I hope you are listening. If somebody knows Diane in Shreveport, can get that information to her. We'll help out there. So there you go. Our number again, 866-TALK-GUN. That'll get you in here. Kind of looking at, we're in this weird combination of, we're talking about technical, which is the guns, the equipment, the ammo, the holsters, scopes, all of that. And at the same time, we talk about political. And if I had my druthers, I would like us to never have to talk about the politics. Of course, that would mean that no one would be coming after our guns or our gun rights, and we know they always are. And so, I don't know, where I end up on this is part of being a gun owner, part of being a responsible shooter. I think there's an obligation. I don't want to make this too heavy on anybody, but I just think each of us has some obligation to be somewhat involved to help. Because there are people who want you to have no guns in your safe, to have no guns in your house, and they're working pretty hard at it. They've got some billionaires helping them out. What we have is, actually, we don't really have any billionaires I'm aware of. What we do have is millions of us. They don't have a lot of them, but they got a lot of money, and they have the media. What we have is millions and tens of millions of us. But the only way that works, the only way we succeed with that, is if we all get involved in some form or fashion. It doesn't have to be, I'm going to write a check for $1,000. I mean, if you can, great. But it may be just, I'm going to make a commitment to writing a letter, or to calling my congresswoman or congressman, or going to a city council meeting, or attending the school board meeting, and asking, why do we have a no tolerance policy? Why do we have a zero tolerance policy? Aren't you supposed to have people here who can actually exercise judgment? Isn't that why you are here, is to exercise judgment? So that if a child, if a 6-year-old draws a picture of a soldier and has a gun in his hand, that you look at that and go, yeah, that's all that is. It's not, we're going to expel you or suspend you. Was that something you would do? I guess what I'm just throwing out is the True Squad idea of, we're not going to shrug anymore and just say, well, that's just the way it is. I can't do anything about it. We're going to get involved. And we succeed. We have successes all the time. It actually, and here's the interesting part, it actually becomes fun. It becomes enjoyable. You start looking for the stories, and you find what's going on. You get involved, and you send an email, or you make a phone call, or you go to a meeting. And everybody in their life needs purpose. And we've got a lot of purposes: to raise our kids, to be safe, to take care of our family, and all of that. But this is a good purpose. This is an ongoing purpose if you are committed to guns and gun rights. And I would just ask you to consider picking this up as something that you do. Let's go to the phones. Line 3. John's with us out of Tulsa, Oklahoma. John, you're on Gun Talk. Yes, sir. What do you think?
Well, about the girl who was 9 years old and was given the Uzi. When I was 12 years old, I was at a range, and I was given a fully automatic Sten gun, and I fired that. And, my dad was there, and there were other range people there. And it was all done in the safe, controlled situation. So in my opinion, what happened here was just stupid. It wasn't well planned. But that doesn't mean we should all beat ourselves over the head about it, because, people do silly stuff with tools all the time. I mean, there's people who drive cars badly, so this was obviously a very badly managed situation. But that there's no reason to punish anybody else. There's no reason to stop other kids from shooting guns or from telling us how we should store our guns and things like that. It's just a poor exercise in judgment, and we should just let it, it was stupid is what it was, and just let it go at that.
I could not agree more. I absolutely, this is a single incident. It's not indicative of anything else. And it's just, I guess, John, what I would say is this: we can all just use that as a reminder for each of us to look at our activities and just make sure that we're being safe and that we're exercising good judgment. And particularly when you're introducing somebody to shooting, that you're starting with one round at a time, bring them along slowly, that you're right there next to them. Just basically use good practices. Thank you, sir. I appreciate the call. Line 1, Chuck is in Crosby, Texas. Chuck, you're on Gun Talk.
Hello, Tom. This continuing controversy over the steel-jacketed bullets, actually, the steel might be less dangerous to a barrel than a soft jacket, because what we found when we had the aluminum blocks for auto engines is that sand and debris would embed in the soft metal and then chew up the harder metal. So arguably the worst thing you could put into a firearm would be a soft lead bullet that has some debris or sand,
grit, sand or grit or some kind of abrasive on it that actually damages the. Well, that's how you fire a lap of barrel, is you use a bullet and embed it with some kind of abrasive, and you fire that down the barrel. Interesting point. And somebody pointed out they probably really aren't steel jacketed anyway. They're probably steel core bullets, which shouldn't be an issue at all. Be right back with more Gun Talk.
Tom Gresham's Gun Talk is broadcast nationwide every Sunday. If you can't hear Gun Talk where you live, call your local talk format station and clue them in on Gun Talk. Stay tuned. We're coming right back. Now broadcasting nationwide on radio, via satellite, and through downloads, iTunes, the Gun Talk app, and other podcast clients. You're listening to Gun Talk with Tom Gresham.
866-TALK-GUN is our number here. If you'd like to shoot me an email, tom@guntalk.com. Over on Twitter, I'm at Gun Talk. A lot of ways to get a hold of us. And, don't forget our Facebook page. We encourage you to send us pictures, share things. We've got, if you look for Gun Talk Media on Facebook, really easy to find. We have lots of folks over there. So a lot of news breaking. So if you're on Facebook, just make us a part of your day. Had Larry Weishuhn on the show a few minutes ago. Great hunting writer, TV guy. He's hunted all over the world. I asked him, if you had to pick one caliber to hunt everything in North America, what would you pick? I was actually very surprised. He said the .375 Ruger. And I have a lot of respect for Larry, but I gotta depart with him on that one. And here's why. I think it is a great caliber. Make no mistake about that. But it's also a big caliber. It's got more recoil than I think a lot of people can handle. And I have come to believe that most people will be better at hitting the trophy that they're shooting at if they're using a gun that kicks less, that they're very comfortable shooting, that they've shot a lot at the range, and the more the recoil goes up, the less you're going to shoot it at the range. And I honestly believe that more people would be better off with a 7mm 08, a 270, a 6.5x55, a 25-06, something along those lines for deer, antelope. When you get to elk, certainly a 270 or 7mm 08 is absolutely perfect, adequate. 280 is great. And, of course, the venerable 308, 30-06, nothing in the world wrong with those. So that's just kind of where where I fall on it. We were talking about that Ruger American rifle. Yeah, it's that good. It really is. It's nutty good. All right, let's go to the phones here. Bill's on line 4 out of Texarkana, Texas. Hello, Bill.
Hey, Tom. I just wanted to weigh in on the girl shooting the instructor. My first thought was that, it's too young, but I've heard other people talking, if you raise them up, from small up till whenever you think they can handle it, it'd be all right. But then my second thought, would be that the instructor evidently messed up somewhere, But I don't.
And the thing is that this was not even a full-size Uzi. I gather it was what they call a mini Uzi. There's a micro Uzi and a mini Uzi. And Uzis have a very high cyclic rate. I mean, we're talking like 1,200 rounds a minute. So it's just about like that. And once you lose your good hold on it, and she didn't have it, it just whips around in your hand. So it just wasn't thought out. It wasn't done well. I'm really, really sorry that the instructor was killed. I'm sorry there was an accident here. But I agree with you when you say, look, if a youngster's I probably started shooting at 5 or 6. And by the time I was 9 or 10, I'd shot a lot. By the time I was 11, I was shooting a semi-automatic 308. That's what I shot my first deer with. So it all depends, so I guess. But you also had a question about, 9mm?
9mm, and I've got a 25. Had all my stuff stolen, so I figured I better get some handguns, because if I'd have called them in here, I wouldn't have had anything to use on them, But anyway, I was wondering, what is a dangerous range? I mean, if you were just take that thing and shoot it straight out in the air, straight ahead, how far before it would actually hurt someone?
I mean, how far out can you hurt somebody with one of these? Oh, as far as you can hit them.
Yeah.
The
reason I'm asking is I'm using my backyard, for a target range, and I don't have anybody living behind me. I got about 50 yards of woods behind me, and it'll probably hit the ground before it would do anything else. I'm shooting into plywood with targets on the front. But,
well, I mean, look, here's the thing. A 9mm is deadly at 1,000 yards. I mean, if you don't know where the bullet's going to stop moving, then don't pull the trigger.
Yeah.
It really is it really is as simple as that. If you aren't sure exactly where the bullet's going to stop moving, then you have no business pulling the trigger. Get somebody to come bring in some dirt, push up some dirt or something if you're going to be shooting, make a berm or something. But no, 9mm will go. I mean, there's a video right now of Jerry Michalik shooting a 9mm and hitting a man-sized target at 1,000 yards on the second shot. So, I mean, if it'll hit it, it'll penetrate it, and if it'll penetrate it, it's lethal. So, as far as it can go, it's lethal. So, I mean, I would encourage you to look at your situation, think about it, and again, I say, you have to know you're responsible for everything that bullet does until it stops moving. And if you don't know where it's going to stop moving, then you have no business pulling the trigger. So I wish you luck with it. Thank you for the call. Jake's in Reno on line 2. Jake, you're on Gun Talk.
Thanks, Tom.
Yes,
so I am being faced with a home defense question. I have experience firing. I was active duty infantry for 8 years, and my wife has no experience.
Okay.
So we're looking into options, and I'm torn between using a legal short-barreled shotgun, like a bullpup, like a Kel-Tec KSG, or something more petite for her.
Okay.
I was just curious about your input about whether a short-barreled shotgun would be better for home defense as opposed to a handgun of some kind.
Okay. I would say nix on the short-barrel shotgun and nix on the handgun and nix on the rifle and nix on anything until she gets some training. And you can't do the training.
Right.
You are prohibited. I forbid you for doing this, okay? Because it's not going to work. You need to get her to a class where she can shoot handguns on her own. This is not a hardware problem. This is a software problem. And if she's skittish about guns, it's not because of the gun. It's because she has no experience with them. She hasn't shot them. She hasn't been trained. She needs to be brought along, maybe start with a .22, but with a good class, you could even start with a 9mm, loaner guns or whatever. But it would be a really bad idea to say, I'm going to get a gun for my wife who's skittish about guns, but we'll get her one that's doesn't kick as much because she's still going to be skittish. She's not going to know what she's doing. And if she doesn't know what she's doing, she'd be better off, honestly, without a gun.
Yeah, we've looked into classes, and classes are a part of our plan for this.
Okay.
Because I'm about to be sent to training. So,
what kind of training?
It's tech school training I enlisted recently and going through. I'll be gone for about 6 months.
Okay. Get her to a class. I'm going to say handgun. Get her a concealed carry permit and sign her up for multiple classes. She needs to be able to take care of herself, not just at home, but wherever she goes, wherever she is legal to carry. Get her, and this is all about changing a mindset, too, and get her comfortable. The problem is not the firearm. The problem is that she doesn't have enough experience, exposure, training, fill in, whatever you want. But that's basically what we're looking at here. So, I think you're on the right path, but I would certainly, I would stay away from the long barrel or the short barrel shotgun. I wouldn't go there. So got to run quickly to the break. 866 Talk Gun. 866 Talk Gun.
The Smith & Wesson Bodyguards. Carry more comfortably, walk more confidently. When it comes to personal protection, nothing beats a Bodyguard. Choose the lightweight, compact, and concealable Bodyguard 380 pistol or the Bodyguard 38 revolver, both with a built-in laser sight. The Smith & Wesson Bodyguards. Carry more comfortably, walk more confidently.
Hi, I'm Tom Gresham. For more than 40 years, I've been watching an environmental disaster in my backyard, and it actually impacts all sportsmen in America. I'm talking about the massive loss of land on the Louisiana coastline. The U.S. Geological Survey said the swamps and marshes of coastal Louisiana are among the nation's most fragile and valuable wetlands. That land is disappearing. The Mississippi River Delta hosts as many as 10 million ducks and geese every winter. These are birds which migrate northward through the states, all the way to Canada. The wetlands of the Delta support some of America's best fresh and saltwater fishing. And here's the deal. The wetlands of the Mississippi River Delta are disappearing at a rate of 1 football field every hour. 1 football field every hour. Gone. We can reconnect the river with its wetlands and restore the Delta, but we need your help. Please visit vanishingparadise.org. That's vanishingparadise.org.
TopGunSupply.com carries a large selection of fine firearms and accessories. Get all the parts you need for your Sig Sauer, HK, and Glock pistols. Grips, screws, recoil springs, sights, barrels, magazines, holsters. The list goes on. Our knowledgeable sales staff, professional service, great prices, and super fast shipping are here to help you. Check us out today. TopGunSupply.com. TopGunSupply.com.
You already know Liberty safes are great values. Now they're offering an even sweeter deal for Gun Talk listeners. At LibertySafe.com, click on the Fat Boy safe and type in Tom. Liberty will give you up to $250 off your purchase. Protect the things you value most. LibertySafe.com, click the Fat Boy safe, promo code Tom, save up to $250. That's LibertySafe.com. LibertySafe.com.
Every day, law enforcement agencies worldwide put their trust in the HST bullet from Federal Premium Ammunition. Built to protect our streets and defend our freedoms, HST and its iconic mushroom provide reliable and consistent performance. That same technology is now available for your personal defense needs when protecting your home and defending your family. Personal Defense HST. Proven, trusted performance. Federal Premium Ammunition. Every shot counts.
Take Gun Talk with you wherever you go. Now streaming through Stitcher, iHeartRadio, iTunes, YouTube, and the Gun Talk app, available for your Android or iPhone. Just search Gun Talk in the App Store. Now back to Gun Talk.
By the way, if you don't have it, you ought to get the Gun Talk app for your smartphone. And if you either missed some of the show or you're thinking, hey, I know he said something, but I don't know what it was, I couldn't write it down, you can always go online and you can download past shows, today's show. It'll be up a couple of hours after the end of the show, something along those orders, something like that. A couple of hours. It takes a little bit of time to get it up. And you can download the show and listen to the same show over and over again. I mean, come on, it's that good. Well, maybe. Line 3, Ed's with us out of Louisiana. Hey, Ed, how you doing?
I'm doing well, Tom. Enjoy your show.
Thank you.
I wanted to address the instructor being shot by the little girl with a 9mm.
Mm-hmm.
I've been teaching. I've been a certified instructor for 42 years within RA, but I've taught a lot of people to shoot and a lot of instructors to work with people that are shooting.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things that I always let them know is that they should determine what is the shooter's strong side, which side they'll be shooting with, right hand or left hand.
Okay.
And they should be working on that side. It puts them closer to the gun. It gives them more control over the gun. It gets them close into where they can talk to the person, even with hearing protection, and to be heard. And if they try to turn the other way, they can take their left hand in this case and push on the left shoulder and keep them from turning off of the range. But with the situation like it was, this instructor was working on the left side. The girl was shooting right-handed, and the recoil, she was actually shooting that shot. The fatal shot that was fired across her body.
Yes,
would not have happened if he'd been working on her right side.
Well, there you go. And hey, Ed, I appreciate you teaching so many people to shoot and working with instructors, and I appreciate you sharing your information here. Work off the strong side and stay close. I mean, when I say close, I mean like, touching right up against them, kind of close. And it's just safer. Line 1, Frank out of Talkeetna, Alaska. Hey, Frank, how you?
Howdy do, Tom. We're doing really well up here. It's a clear blue sky day, approximately 54 degrees Fahrenheit.
And I bet the mountain's out, I bet.
It was out yesterday. I can't quite see it today, but that doesn't mean anything.
I understand. Things change. And you and I know what we're talking about. We'll let everybody else wonder what we're talking about.
You betcha. They'll just have to come up here and learn for themselves.
There you go. So what kind of gun we're talking about here?
Several weeks ago, maybe a month or two, a buddy of mine was contemplating buying a para-ordnance Elite Long Slide Hunter in 10mm. Mm-hmm. Since I had heard various reports about the company, I called you to get your opinion. Mm-hmm. And you gave me the green light, so he bought his, and he liked it, and I shot it, and you know what comes next?
Well?
I bought mine.
Okay.
And I've shot it. I like it. I made a list. Well, I made a list here, the pros and the cons.
All right, we don't have much time, Frank, so give me the bottom line. Take it down to the bottom line, please.
Okay, the bottom line is it's great because it's a 1911 in 10mm. It has a flat backstop, ambidextrous safety, great grips, G10, good adjustable sights, stippled backstrap, front and rear side serrations. Negatives: the frame has a rail, which means you have to buy a brand new holster to fit. Mm-hmm. The front side is not stippled. The hammer spring holder is plastic, and the trigger is plastic. The grip screws were loose, and I had to punch the ambi-safety together from both sides. And that's
all right, listen, okay, you got it all in. Wonderful. Now that's a range report, by golly. 866-TALK-GUN. Give us yours.
Join the NRA via Tom Gresham's Gun Talk website and receive $10 off the regular membership price. Log on to guntalk.com for details. You're listening to Tom Gresham's Gun Talk. Just because we're wrapping up on the air doesn't mean we're done talking about guns. Stick around for the after show. It's our podcast-only version designed to include all the stuff we simply couldn't fit into a regular show. Call in now at 1-TOM-TALK-GUN. Now, back to Tom.
Oh, yeah, we'll have a few things to talk about during the after show. So if you haven't been able to pick that up yet, I encourage you to do so. It's a different vibe. We kind of knock it around, have a bunch of fun. We go in some interesting directions. And sometimes we go in circles, which is okay, too. So you can pick that up online. If you can actually start out at guntalk.com/listen, and you can find your way to it that way. Excuse me. I want to get Connie in here on line 3 out of Coos Bay, Oregon. Hey, Connie, welcome to Gun Talk.
Hi there, Tom. How you doing today?
I am good. What'd you get? What kind of gun?
Well, I just bought myself a 9mm M&P Shield. And I'll tell you what, this is the sweetest little gun that I've come across. I was carrying a Glock 19, mostly in a fanny pack, and because I have back problems, I was looking for something a little lighter weight. Mm-hmm. And so I tried this, and the good thing, too, is that the M&P Shield came out with a no thumb safety, which I liked even better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's brand new.
And so I took it out to the range with my training counselor, and we shot off about 400 rounds. And I'm telling you, this got a sweet trigger on it. Very light pull, actually. The reset's a little bit longer than my Glock, but accurate as all get out. I was extremely pleased with it, and I wanted to let the world know that you just can't go wrong with a nice little shield for everyday carry if you want something lighter weight. And the recoil is very good.
It really is. The thing, I don't know what they've done with the design of the grip or what it is, but you'd think being smaller and lighter, it would kick a little more, but I don't think it does.
Not at all. Well, I had a car that I had picked up hoping for the same result, but the recoil on that was very uncomfortable, and I didn't like it at all, so I passed that on right away. But this shield is perfect. I can't say enough about it.
Let me ask you, are you carrying that in a fanny pack?
I am.
You went from a Glock to the shield, so you dropped the mag capacity quite a bit. Are you carrying an extra mag with you?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I just want to make the point.
I carry one. Yeah, I carry, I carry 2 extra mags in the flap of the fanny pack, and then I have a little holster in my left back pocket that I put a third one.
So you got one in the gun, and you're carrying 3 extra mags.
That's it.
I like it. I have no problem with that whatsoever. I don't know anybody who ever said he or she was in a gunfight and had too much ammo.
Well, I know, and this was a real struggle for me to go from a double stack to a single stack, but it was pretty painful for me to carry around my Glock with 2 mags extra because of my back situation, and this has solved it because the weight is distributed a little bit differently.
Well, I really appreciate the range report. Sounds like you really rang this one out, wrung it out, whatever. Did a good job testing it, 400 rounds with the instructor. I love the pistol, and the fact, and you mentioned it, they've got the new Smith & Wesson Shield that has no thumb safety on it, which that's my preference too. Connie, be safe out there. Sounds like you got a plan for that one. Thank you for that. Don't go anywhere, folks. If you get a chance, be sure to listen to the after show. If you'd like to call in right now, we can get you on the after show. 866-TALK-GUN. 866-TALK-GUN. We talk about ARs and hunting and home defense and shotguns and little bitty guns and who knows what else. Whatever you want to talk about, 866-TALK-GUN right now. Have yourself a great Labor Day and be safe out there.